The Honorable Mr. Saifur Rahman, PhD, Mrs. Asihar Nawati, PhD, and Mrs. Santi Hawanti, PhD. Good afternoon, Bapak Ibu. My name is Zariana Bentucham, and in this opportunity, I would like to present my thesis proposal entitled Teacher Strategies in Giving Feedback to Students' Writing and its Impact on Their Motivation in Writing Activity. Ya, Bapak Ibu, based on curriculum in 2013, the objective of teaching English for 8th grade students of junior high school is that they should be able to produce short, simple written text in form of recount. And then in writing exercises and practices, teachers play a very important role as someone who evaluates and provides correction or input on students' work. Some expert argues that through corrective feedback in writing, teacher can help students to improve their writing skill, and teacher must be able to use appropriate feedback in the class so that it can help students to improve their writing ability. This study is aimed to investigate on how teachers provide feedback in writing classes and motivate their students in writing activities. And also I will investigate what kind of feedback strategies the teacher use in the writing class. Bapak Ibu, there are 3 problems investigated in this study, and the problems are formulated in this question. The first one, what are teacher strategies in giving feedback to students' writing? And then the second, how do the teachers apply the strategies in giving feedback to students' writing? And the last, how does it impact on the students' motivation in writing activity? Now let's move to the literature review. This part consists of several theories that are relevant to the study. In detail, it will explain about the definition of feedback and then types of feedback strategies, writing recount text, and motivation. Feedback is conceptualized, provided by an agent, for example, like teacher and then peer or CLL, and then regarding aspect of one's performance or understanding. In general, feedback is classified into several classification. The first one is the performer or teacher here, and then the timing, like delay or immediate feedback, and then the form, which are direct or indirect feedback, and then the method, performance of feedback, which is oral or written feedback. And then the feedback will be focused on students' writing, which is writing recount text. Recount text is a type of text that contains a personal experience that is delivered sequentially. And one of the purpose of this study is to investigate the impact of feedback on the students' motivation in writing activity. Motivation here can be defined as the driving force or attraction that causes behavior to become a certain goal. Now, some related studies will be used as a reference to help me in conducting this study. The first one was conducted by Al-Shir Bini Abdel and Fatah Al-Asri in 2013. And then the second one done by Amdina Binur Rahman in 2017. In the same year, Amal Kochokali also conducted a study about feedback in EFL writing, and then Abdurrahman et al. In 2022 also conducted studies about feedback. Based on those previous studies, different feedback can help students, especially in writing skills. However, there are no studies that show the impacts of feedback on students' motivation in writing activity. Then in this study, I decided to investigate more on the different types of feedback especially on students' writing delivered by the teacher, how they implement the feedback strategies, and also how it affects students' motivation in writing activities. Okay, Bapak Ibu, next is methodology. To answer the research question outlined in the study, I will implement mixed method. Mixed method entails blending or integrating qualitative and quantitative research and data. Based on Creswell in 2014, quantitative data usually comprises closed-ended replies, such as those found on questionnaires or psychological tests, whereas qualitative data is frequently open-ended with no predetermined responses. In this study, qualitative method will be used for measuring teachers' strategies in giving feedback through interview and document analysis, while quantitative method will be used to measure students' motivation in writing activity that is gained through a questionnaire, which is closed-ended questionnaire. Since the questionnaire is presented using Likert scale, so the data will be in numbers and will be analyzed using statistical procedure. And then the setting of the research is at 7 junior high schools in Curug Cilacap district. They are SMP 1, 2, 3 of Curug, and then SMP Yosudarso, SMP Muhammadiyah, SMP Nusantara, and the last is SMP Islam Citepus. The participant or subject who will take part in this research are English teachers from the school with their students. To choose the teacher as the participant, I set the criterions such as teach 8th grader students of junior high school and then have at least 5 years teaching experience in that school. From those criterion, I got 5 teachers from SMP 1, 2, and then SMP Muhammadiyah, SMP Yosudarso, and SMP Islam Citepus. And then the students who will be taken as participant are 8th graders from those 5 schools. I will take 1 class per school. Each class consists of 32 students, so there will be 140 students in total. And since the sample, I will use a random sampling, and since the participant is more than 100, so I will take 25%, so it will be 40 students for the sample. And then for the data collection, the data will be collected by using interview, documentation, and questionnaire. As mentioned before, that I will use interview to measure students' strategies in giving feedback. I choose semi-structured interview. I have prepared some questions, and the complete interview guide is available on Appendix A. Yeah, this is the interview guide, consists of teacher feedback, teacher strategies in giving feedback, and students' motivation in writing. Okay, well, to support the data gained from the interview, I will also analyze the writing document, which is students writing in terms of recount text. And then to see the impact of the teacher's feedback on students' motivation in writing activities, I will administer questionnaire. It is closed-ended questionnaire, and the complete blueprint of the questionnaire can be seen on Appendix B. Yeah, the score will be in 1 to 4, and then the questions will be on Bahasa Indonesia in order to be more understandable by the students. And then for the data analysis, since I use mixed method, the data gained from interview and documentation will be analyzed using qualitative data analysis. Its techniques is divided into 4 categories. The first one is data coding. data reduction, data display, and the last is data verification. And then the data from the questionnaire will be analyzed using statistical procedure. From the result of the questionnaire that has been collected from the respondent and to find out the level of students' motivation in writing recount text after being given feedback, I will calculate the data to get the percentage and the mean. And then for the effort validity, for the qualitative validity, I will use data triangulation, this type of triangulation using multiple sources of data by comparing and cross-checking the data collected by different subject or setting and interview different people with different point of view and different type of data. And then the expert validation will be conducted to ensure that the blueprint of the questionnaire about the students' motivation in writing activity has validity evidence. This step will be taken since the questionnaire is adapted from another researcher, but the items in the questionnaire will be adjusted by the need of the data in the study, which is students' motivation in writing recount text. Okay, thank you very much. That's all from me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. Thank you, Mbak Zahrianda. Ya. The next will be Mbak Nisrina. Mbak Nisrina, the floor is yours.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Mbak Nasi. I will share screen first. Oke, Bapak Ibu, apakah sudah terlihat?
Ya, sudah. Ya.
Okay, well, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
The Honorable Ma'am Asih Ernawati, as the head of Master of English Education, postgraduate program, and then the Honorable Mr. Saifur Rahman, PhD, and also Ma'am Santi Hawanti as the examiners for today's seminar proposal. Let me introduce myself. My name is Nisrina Nurhaliza, and today I will present my thesis proposal entitled The Implementation of 21st Century Skills in Online Learning, a case study on English instructors of Language Development Center, Universitas Muhammadiyah Purwokerto. Well, for all study programs except English Education Department and also English Literature in UMP, the students will get intensive English program conducted by instructors under the Language Development Center of Universitas Muhammadiyah Purwokerto. And then this intensive English has objectives such as fulfill the English needs for students as international language, and then pave the way for mastering the technology, and as the requirement for students to graduate from UMP, and then the certificate will be used by students for applying job in the future. Well, initially this intensive English program is conducted offline, but because of COVID-19 pandemic since 2019, so this intensive English program is conducted online. All right, so according to Allen and Simon here in 2007, online learning is a learning system without directly face-to-face between teachers and also students. And it requires connection, internet connection, and also online platform to support the teaching learning process. Well, unfortunately, in this online learning, there are some problems also, such as the internet connection, poor internet connection, and then the devices, the quota, and then the ICT skills of teachers. But besides the ICT skills of teachers, the teachers also struggles in encouraging students to be actively involved in teaching learning process. And this will be problems because in this 21st century, the students should develop their forces skills. Okay, forces skills is so important because according to European Union Commission, the forces skills is important because they can empower people by developing skills throughout their lifetime. Therefore, I have two problems here as my research questions. The first one is how do the English instructors implement the forces in online learning? And then what problems do the English instructors face in implementing forces in online learning? Well, the next is about the literature review that I use as the reference of my thesis. The first one is internship English program in UMP itself that as I said before, this program is under the Language Development Center, Universitas Muhammadiyah Purwakarta, and then it uses Common European Framework of Reference or CFR as
recording in progress
as the curriculum, and then it taught for 4 semesters, since semester 1 until 4 for students, and then in semester 1 the students will get the pretest to see in what level the students are start, and then in CFR there are 6 levels such as starter, elementary, pre-intermediate, intermediate, upper intermediate, and then advanced level. And then in the 21st century skills here, according to National Education Association in 2014, stated that in this modern area, studying the writing, reading, and also arithmetic is not enough for students. So as qualified for a job and then employable in the world for the future. So therefore, the students need 4 skills such as communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and also creativity to prepare young generation to be part of global, informative, and insightful citizen. And then the next is integrating 4 skills in ELT class. I take from Erdogan in 2019, and then Erdogan also said that integrating 4 skills in ELT class should be creative, and then the teacher can integrate the 4 skills and play variety activities in the teaching learning process in order to foster the students' 4 skills. And then for online learning itself, according to Molinda here in 2005, online learning is an effort to connect learners with learning resources which physically separated but can communicate with each other, and then it requires internet connection and online platforms such as Telegram, WhatsApp, and then Google Meet, Zoom meeting, OnClass, Schoology, and any other platform. But unfortunately, in this online learning also has some challenges such as the students and also parents who don't have the gadget, and then the poor internet connection, and then the quota, which related with the study conducted by Ahmad in 2016 and also Wahab and Alam in 2020. Okay, so this is the previous studies. Actually, I got 7 previous studies here, but I just want to show 3 of them. The first one is descriptive qualitative research conducted by Pardede in 2020, entitled Integrating the Forces into EFL Integrated Skills Learning. And then this article reviews the current ideas, research findings, and also tips in integrating forces. And then the second one is a survey research conducted by Rama Chandiran and Mahmud in 2018. And then the results show that the assessment via Padlet efficiently assess the forces for the computing model offered to the undergraduate students. And then the third one is a qualitative descriptive research conducted by Penturi et al. In 2020. And then the result also showed that using creative writing media project can improve the students' 21st century skills. And then this can be references and then give me different incitement for my research. Well, and then the next is about the methodology itself. So in this research, in my research, I will use case study as the method of my research. And then while observation, interview, and also questionnaire will be the technique for collecting the data. For observation, I will use non-participant observation, in which I will just observe the instructors from LDC naturally without doing interaction, and then I will observe the activities using online platform, namely OnClass. And then for interview, after that I will do the interview with the 5 instructors of LDC, which I taken using my own criteria. And then because this is a case study, so I will use in-depth interview to gain more detailed information how the instructors implement the forces in online learning, and then the problems they face in implementing forces in online learning. And then after that, I will use close-ended questionnaire to validate the implementation. Why I carry out the questionnaire here? Because I didn't find, or I don't find any document such as lesson plan that that can be used to be analyzed in my research. So I will use this questionnaire to see the instructor planning and also how they implement the forces using on class here. And then for the data analysis here, I will use qualitative data analysis according to Creswell in 2014. There are coding and then reduction, display, and also verification. And then for data validation technique, I will use triangulation because here I use 3 different techniques such as observation, interview, and questionnaire for collecting the data. Well, and then I will show the blueprints. Okay, this is my blueprints for observation, interview, and questionnaire. So in observation, I will observe the instructors' frequency in promoting the students' forces, and then the platform they use, and then the kind of activities they conducted in teaching learning process. And then for interview, I will give them 6 best questions related with my research question, and I will add some questions related with their answer. And therefore questionnaires, this is close-ended questionnaire for about 20 statements that I retrieved from Donovan, Binkley, and Fashion et al. In Mariuningsih et al. In 2020. And then this is to validate the planning and also the activities conducted by instructors in teaching learning process using online learning. Well, I think that's all from me. I'm so sorry if I cannot explain it in detail. Thank you very much for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mbak Nisrina. The next one will be Mbak Teresa. Mbak Teresa, your turn.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah, can you see my screen? Okay. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
The Honorable the lecturers, Ibu Asy Ernawati PhD, Ibu Santi Hawanti PhD, and Mr. Saifur Rahman PhD. Thank you very much for the opportunity that has given to me to present my thesis proposal. I am Farisa Indri Hapsari. I would like to present my thesis proposal entitled Teachers' Belief and Practices on the Use of ICT in ELT in Secondary School. Why I choose this topic? Because the rapid growth of technology has affected in all parts, including education. In fact, in the field of education, it is seen as a reason for the shift in how students learn. And ICT was introduced as a way to help the teachers and students in teaching and learning process. Learning using a range of technology and media formats such as radio, audio, video, and computer-based resources is now referred to as a learning style, according to Smaldino et al. In 2014. But EFL teacher thoughts, beliefs, and practices of using technology are also the central object as a means to systematically develop an effective use of technology in the language learning in teaching learning process. But some studies on this area shows that the teacher belief often did not align with their classroom technology practices, like in the study of Erdmer 2012 and Kim 2013. So, the usage of ICT in the classroom in relation to the teacher's belief piqued the writer's curiosity to explore the teacher's belief and their impact in using ICT in the classroom. Moreover, it is also important to find the gap between the teacher's belief and the practices in using ICT in the classroom. The research question are, first, what are the teacher's beliefs toward the use of ICT in ELT? And then the second, How do their belief
excuse me, Mbak Teresa, the slide is still on page 1. Click to page 2, so we'll see the research question.
I did, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Yeah, on my screen is still on, what is it, the title, your manuscript, yeah, PPT. Yeah, okay, now it is page 2.
Thank you. So the research question will be the first, what are the teachers' beliefs toward the use of ICT in ELT? And the second one is, how do their beliefs impact on the use of ICT in the classroom? And the third, what are the gaps between the teachers' beliefs and their practices in the classroom? Yes, the theoretical review here, or literature review, consists of some theories that cover the research. The first one is about belief. Belief, according to Pehkonen and Pitula in 2003, a belief is a kind of knowledge that is subjective and experience-based. So belief is what is thought to be true, or what you think is it true based on your own experience. For example, I believe that video help the student to learn better. And teachers believe, forecast, and reflect and ensure their teaching practices. This is according to Wilkin and in 2008. This implies that how teachers teach can be different even when they have knowledge and even when they hold similar knowledge and skill, depending on their belief. For example, when the teacher has the same knowledge and skill, but they have a different belief, it can be different when they decided what teaching methods should be done in the classroom, and then what are the best way to learn language, and what kind of media technology that can be used in the learning process, and is ICT necessary in the classroom, and so on. And ICT here, ICT defined as information and communication technology. According to Asaber and Engwah 2012, define ICT as the tools, facilities, procedures, and equipment that enable people to create and share information in all forms, including speech, text,
ke kolam sini, kolam dekat.
Data, image, and video.
Mbak Mulyani bisa di-unmute ya, Mbak Mulyani.
In the context of language learning, ICT has an important role as the media bridging and enabling the learning process. And this one, ICT tools in ELT, according to Al-Kamel and in 2018, they divide ICT tools in ELT into two parts. The first one is non-web-based learning. The example is radio and television, language laboratory, LCD, and so on. And the second one is web-based learning like YouTube, Zoom, blogs, email, and etc. Okay, previous studies about beliefs and ICT use in the classroom. There are some previous study on the teacher belief and ICT use in the classroom, as you see in the screens. Khan MN and Kudus 2020, ELT teacher attitude toward integrating ICT in CLT in Bangladesh. And also Arif Nugroho and Ira 2020, teacher belief and practices on the use of digital learning. And teacher beliefs and practices on the use of video in ELT by Waluyo and Apridiani 2021. Understanding teachers' belief of ICT use for language learning would be fruitful in improving the quality of technology integration practices, especially for secondary English teacher in Cilacap. So the methodology here, in order to address the research objective, a descriptive qualitative method will be used in this study. A descriptive study declares something naturally, so the study only measures what is already there. And then the participants here are English teacher in Sidarja sub-districts who will be chosen from three public schools and 3 private schools, namely SMP 1, 2, 3 and SMP IT Bina Insan Kamil Sidarja, SMP Muhammadiyah Sidarja, and SMP Al Hidayah. And then they will be chosen from the some criteria, like the teacher has to own Bachelor of English Education, to integrating ICT in their teaching and learning, and having experience of teaching at least for 5 years. And then data collection technique here, semi-structured interview will be conducted in gaining the teacher's belief in and practices in using ICT. And the interview will be recorded using audio tapping and handwriting notes. The interview guide will be considered from some indicators. To find the teacher's belief in using ICT will be to find the teacher experience, teacher perspective, and teacher's knowledge and skill in using technology. And teacher practices will be find to know the teacher's obstacle and challenges in using ICT in the classroom. And then the classroom observation will be held to collect the process of using ICT in English classroom. The observation will be done to find the implementation of ICT in terms of what ICT tool that is used and how to use it, and the activities and also the obstacles that is shown in the classroom. And the data analysis for interview and observation, the data analysis will be followed by Miles et al. In 2014. The first one is collecting. Interview will recording and transcript. And then the second, reducing. It will omit the invalid data that irrelevant with the study, and then simplify the transcript to find the significant and unique finding. And the third is displaying into representative transcript, and the fourth one is drawing conclusion. And the observation technically will be done for the first reading the observation state, identify the collected data, and interpreting the collected data and drawing conclusion. Validation of the data will be used by triangulation method, because the researcher will be used two methods of collecting data, that is interview and classroom observation. Thank you very much. That's all for me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih. Thank you, Mbak Teresa. Now, last but not least, Mbak Hendri Alifa. The microphone is on you, Mbak.
Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Mrs. Asih, Mrs. Santi, and Mr. Saifur. Today I'm Hendri, and I would like to present my thesis proposal entitled Students and Teachers' Perspective and Challenges in Using Schoology to Enhance Student English Achievement. But before that, let me share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Yeah, as we know that the teaching and learning process nowadays has changed from traditional learning into modern one, which means the teacher and the students cannot meet directly each other in the classroom to learn and discuss lesson at the same time, especially for the English subjects. Therefore, they need a way or a tool to support them in learning process in the pandemic situation. And now we call it as Learning Management System or LMS. LMS is a tool used to manage data of learning such as material, assignments, test, evaluation, and etc. So LMS can be a way to help teacher and students in teaching learning process for especially English. There are many LMS platform can be used in learning English. One of them is Schoology. Schoology is a revolutionary learning management system and social networking tools which make the user easy to create and disseminate their academic project. But unfortunately, the use of LMS in learning English sometimes cause many problems that comes from both teacher and students. There are many English teachers, especially the old one, usually find difficult to adapt with the technology applied in the classroom. So they need more energy and time in designing and preparing their learning with media and tools that connect with technology and also internet. The teacher has to be able to give very clear instruction for the activities so that the students can do it correctly. From the student sides, they also learn harder rather than in traditional classroom. The students need to understand the instruction very clearly and comprehend the materials with less guidance from their teachers. From the situation above, the writer is interested in conducting research on how to use a learning management system, especially Schoology, that can improve students' English achievement and also the views of the teacher and students on this. Therefore, the writers...
Suaranya Mbak Henry ini ya, gemersek ya, I cannot get the point. Ya. Ada
mikrofonnya ya, ada masalah dengan mikrofon.
Now is it clear?
Ya, mungkin agak dijauhkan sedikit.
Oh ya.
Okay, thank you.
Jelas ya, Bu. Okay, from the situation above, the writer formulate two questions. The first one is, how is the students and teachers' perspective in the use of Schoology? And the second one is, what are the students and teacher challenges in using Schoology for English online learning? For this research, the scope of this research will be to non-English department students in UMP and also English instructor of Intensive English in Language Development Center in UMP. Okay, so for a literature review, I divided into 3 parts. The first one is about online learning, which has definition, benefits, and also weaknesses. The second one is about LMS, Learning Management System, which with its definition, purposes, user, and benefits. And the last one is about challenges in using LMS and kinds of LMS. Okay, as I said before, the focus on this research is about the use of Schoology. Schoology is one of learning management system which features enable the educators to combine both traditional classroom and online learning. And the use of Schoology supports not only students but also the teacher in learning English. Schoology has benefits that I can gather. There are 3. Empowers instructors with dynamic course creation, and then automatically updating online grading system, and also about Schoology's mobile application provides important classroom management abilities with mobile freedom. And then in Schoology, there are some features. The first one is about attendance record, so the students can mark up their attendance, and then the features is like Facebook, yeah, we can have a discussion, yeah, and then we can have a chat room and so on and so forth. And then online gradebook, tests and quizzes, homework proxies, and accessible through mobile phone. And then about the previous study, there are some studies about Schoology, and I put 3 here. First, from Dewi, Agniani, and Krisdayanti in 2018, students' perception on the design of asynchronous online discussion using Schoology in English language education, Ganesha University of Education. And then Garcia in 2018, Schoology as an alternative to traditional teaching tools for university students. And the last one is Ginola, David, and Demaria Magdalena in 2016, the implementation of flipped classroom by using Schoology in speaking to class of English education study program. Okay, next one is about methodology. For this research, I use mixed method, which means I use questionnaire in the form of survey and then interview sheet. And then for the subject or population, the participant will be first semester students of non-English department in UMP, and also the English instructor in LDC UMP. Yeah, the non-English department, non-English students here means they are not majoring in both English education department and faculty of the level. And for the sample, I take first semester students of non-English department who are in the starter level, and also English instructor who teach in the starter level. In LDC, there are six level in learning intensive English. Starting from the starter, elementary, pre-intermediate, intermediate, upper intermediate, and advanced. So for the sample, I take the first semester who learn in starter level. And then for the sampling technique, I use cluster random sampling. For data collection, the questionnaire, interview, and document will be used for the data collections. For the questionnaire itself, is the closed-ended questions, and also for the interview, it's closed-ended questions. And for data analysis technique, after the data is collected, it will be analyzed by descriptive static tests and inductive analysis. And for data validity, the three of them will be get the validity through triangulation data. Okay, so this is some references from for this research, and I think that's all from me. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much, Mbak Henry. Now we go to the second part of our program, in which the counselor will give each of you the feedback and also suggestion and questions, regarding on your manuscript that they have read. The first chance will be given to Bu Santi.
Bu Asi?
Oh, yeah.
Next you, Bu. How about I move, because I will have a meeting after this, Bu.
Oh, okay. Okay, Pak Saiful.
Yeah, thank you, Bu Asi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay. Good afternoon, all.
Good afternoon, Pak.
Today, well, first of all, congratulations for four of you, Bu Jahrianda, Bu Henry, Mbak Nisrina, Bu Nisrina, not Mbak again, and then Bu Ferisa, for finishing your manuscript. And I think that this is, what is that? The second step of your journey in making thesis, in which I think that this is a very hard for you. I'm sure that you couldn't sleep this night right? because of this joint counseling. Okay, I would like to focus my comment first on Mbak Ferisa, yeah, because I opened Mbak Ferisa here. Okay, Mbak Ferisa. So look at your manuscript, Mbak Ferisa. Are you ready, Mbak Ferisa?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you want to get the feedback first, or do you want to get the praise first?
The feedback first,
feedback
sir.
first. Yeah, okay, Mbak Ferisa, this is a good topic, I think, about the teacher beliefs and practices on the use of ICT. But let me ask you one thing. What is a belief, Mbak Ferisa? And then what is the practices?
Belief is what think it is true.
Mm-hmm.
It can become it is come from the experience, maybe from the person who get the beliefs. So
something that is true, something that is belief, yeah, something that is yeah, the faith from the teacher itself. So how about practices, Mbak Ferisa?
Practices is the implementation, the implementation of the belief in the classroom here.
Okay, Mbak Ferisa. And then why is that? If you want to measure the student belief in ICT, so what is the possible questions, Mbak Ferisa?
Possible question for mention belief. Is it? I think is it necessary if ICT used in the teaching and learning process, and then what is your opinion about ICT? Is it important to use ICT in the classroom?
Okay, necessity and then the importance and then what else? So I think it is similar, right, between the necessity and then also the importance one.
And then
yeah, okay. Okay, so this is my comment, Mbak Ferisa. In
yes,
your it will be better for you to make a list of the component of the belief. So the belief for in general first, so the belief influenced by something. The first
experience.
The component of the belief is like this one. And then the second one, you have also mentioned here, why is that? The belief in using ICT, you can take it from the previous study. Probably someone has done a research on the belief of the ICT or the practices of the ICT or the perceptions or the opinion about the ICT. And then why did I write it down in chapter 2? Because I couldn't see it here because this is a very basic information that we have to get, yeah, Mbak Ferisa. If you couldn't get it from one book, you can get it from many research. Like, why is that? The belief, for example, about the importance of ICT, who said like that's one, and then the necessity, and then what else, and then you'll find many things that is something to do with belief. Why this is important? Because you want to construct the instrument, Mbak Ferisa, in which the instrument should be about the teacher belief on the ICT. Yeah, look at your research questions, Mbak Ferisa. So you have some research questions here, right? The first is, what are the teachers' belief on the use of the ICT? If it is something to do with what, probably the answer will be good, right? And then this will be quantitative, right? The data collections, if it is something to do with what. However, when I see your research instrument to answer these questions, you use interview, right?
Yes.
In which the interview is not for quantitative. Mbak Ferisa, I think you need also to read again on how to measure the belief. Okay, I have here the articles, Mbak Ferisa, on how to measure the belief. I can get it also from the why is that? From here the article. I'd like to show it for you, Mbak.
Yes.
This one, Mbak Ferisa. Can you see this one, Mbak? Can you see it?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. Okay, there are three here. The teachers believe, like the Likert scale instrument. If you want to do quantitatively, you have to choose this one, and then using interview with observations, and then rank then rate instrument. There are also some, what is that, example on how to measure the belief here, Mbak Ferisa. So like this one, this is in the form of the questionnaire. This is the belief. There are so many questions related to teacher beliefs, and not only consists of less than 10 questions, but more than 10 questions if you want to do it quantitatively. Or you can make like this one. This is a good example. So for all of you, if you want to construct the designs of the questionnaire quantitatively, and you may look at the, what is that, the existing article, and then you can find the model. Just adapt the model, and then you can use it for your research. Like this one, when you teach, you can. This is the mathematics. The topic is about the mathematics. However, you can change it into ICT, and then what is that? You have to rank it, and then also rate based on your rank. This is quite interesting. In which, if they answer this one, rank this, you can measure their belief. Their belief is high, low, or medium about the use of ICT. And then the rate also could measure this one. So my suggestion, if you still keep using what are the teachers' belief, so change your instrument into a quantitative one, Mbak Ferisa, because when I see your method, research method also, you use quantitative, right, as your main research. Okay, that is the first one, because yeah, and this is your choice actually. You want to change it into quantitative, qualitative, or you keep using quantitative, because here in research methodology you use descriptive,
qualitative.
Oh, descriptive, qualitative. Yeah. So I think that you may use the, what is that? Interview,
interview and observation.
Yeah, okay. However, look at again, Mbak Ferisa, to the indicators here. Yeah, I think that there will be more than 3 indicators to know the teachers' belief in ICT. Just find it from another articles or in which they investigated about the ICT, Mbak Ferisa, ya. So, in my opinion, using this one, Mbak Ferisa, these questions only, we couldn't measure the belief, the teacher's belief. Okay. I think this is quite interesting if you use the model, the quantitative model. So the teacher will state something, right? And then make a rank. And then also from the rank, they will state their belief, rather than using the interview only, Mbak Ferisa. Okay, so that is the first one. And then the second one is about the teacher practices. So practices, I'll look again to the indicators that you have to look, and then you have to think it deeply, because you want to measure this one. So practices, look at again to another research. For example, the practices is not only the implementation, obstacle, or challenges. Probably practices something to do with the step of using ICT. The second one is probably it is something to do with the tools in using ICT, right?
I have mentioned it in the observation.
Oh, in observation.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, because this is just only interview. I want to ask about this, but in the observation, I have mentioned it.
Okay, in observation, see this one, yeah. Okay. This one, the kind of ICT, and then now the use in the classroom learning activities. So the material is, and then also the assessment of the ICT use. Also, you can mention it here, and then also the obstacle and challenges. And then because this is the observation, the most important one, you have to make the observation checklist here. Okay, it is very good, the observation checklist. However, this is not enough, Mbak Ferisa. Yes. So yes, add it more, Mbak Ferisa. This is good, yes or no, in using the ICT, and then you add more, right? And then the last one, your research questions is you want to find the gap, right, Mbak Ferisa?
Yes.
The gap, what do you mean by gap here?
I think the gap here means like the obstacles, why maybe the belief does not in line with the teaching practices in the classroom.
I see.
That's
so
the gap, I think.
So you measure that the teacher's belief first. So I think that's right. Quantitative is more appropriate than qualitative. You want to measure, right? If you want to find the gap for so you can make a group of a teacher. The teacher who have a strong belief, and then the medium, or they do not have the strong belief on the use of ICT, because not all of them agree using ICT, right, Mbak Ferisa? And then the gap here is, for example, why is that? You find that in the practices, the teacher, they do not believe in the use of the ICT, for example, from the importance, the necessity, and then blah, 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 you make it into a rank. And then in the reality, they use the ICT, so there is a gap. This is the gap. Okay, so here, again, in answering the last questions, probably, you have to explain in chapter 3. Yes, yeah, so probably the thing that you have to see is the contradictive one, right, between the use of ICT and the belief. So, Mbak Ferisa, okay, this is my...
Thank you, thank you, sir.
Yeah, this is for the improvement of your research, yeah, Mbak Ferisa. And then, yeah, the next suggestions, because you want to get the prize from me. I think that, yeah, your writing is good, your grammar is good, although some parts that's okay. And then also, yeah, at least that you have made it into 36 pages. That's very good, Mbak Ferisa. I'm sure that it's very hard for you to make it into more than 30 pages. But remember, like Asi said, that the minimum is for making a report at 80 pages, yeah, Mbak Ferisa. So you have to work it hard more. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, yeah, that is for Mbak Ferisa. And then the second one is for Bu Nisrina. Okay. Pengantin baru ini, ya masih kelihatan segar ya Bu Nisrina.
Fansnya Pak Saifur ini.
Iya. Okay, Mbak Nisrina. So the implementations of 21st century skill. So my question is, what is 21st century skill, Mbak Nisrina?
21st century skills is a skill that needed by students to be qualified and employable for the job in the future, sir.
Mention it, please.
Okay, the first one is communication, and then the second one is collaboration, and then critical thinking, and then creativity.
Okay, and then your research questions is about how do the English instructors implement for C in online learning. So what instrument will you use, Bu Nisrina?
I will use observation and then interview and also questionnaire. So.
Yeah, okay, because I couldn't see here in your, there is no appendixes here in my...
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Should I share screen here, sir?
Okay, yeah, after this first.
Okay.
So we will see again, yeah, so I like looking at the, the indicators here. So the first thing that you want to collect is using observations, right, Mbak Nisrina. It will be very wise that strong if you edit some indicators of the observations, Mbak Nisrina. Take it for example that for C you mentioned the first is
communication.
Communications, and then
collaborations,
and then
critical thinking,
and then the last one is
creativity.
And then creativity. So you make the table here like Mbak Ferisa, yeah. Make a table from the critical thinking, for examples, and then you have to make the components or the indicators of the critical thinking. And then there are so many kinds of observations. Mbak Ferisa prefer using checklist, yes or no, or probably you do not like using checklist. Well, you only use the free observations. But you mentioned the indicators, and then also after that you give, for example, notes, something to do like that one in the next tables. Yeah. So just complete this with the indicators so that when you make the observations, you have a guidelines of observing something. And then let's say the teachers applied, the first teachers applied the critical thinking skill in their classroom, right? Yeah. So how do you know if they apply the critical thinkings? Of course, by consulting it from the indicators. For the 4 or let's say 10 indicators, they only apply 5 or 3, and then you can make a conclusions. And then also for the interview, it will be better for you to make the guidelines of the interview, whether the interview is the same with the observations or not, right? And then
I make the guidelines, sir. But in appendix, I'm so sorry.
But you forgot mentioning here.
Yeah, so sorry.
Iya, kalau pengantin baru suka lupa, nggak apa-apa ya. Oke. Ya Bu Santi, dulu Bu Santi pengantin baru juga lupa. Siapa suaminya? Enggak nih. Oke.
Apa sih Pak?
This is the first one. Okay, and then the second one is what problems do English instructors face in implementing the 4C, right?
Yes.
Mbak Nisrina, it will be better for you to add one more questions probably, Mbak Nisrina, because your title is about the implementation. So in which the most important one here is the implementations. You may answer using this one. However, the last one probably you want to find out the impact, or probably you want to correlate between the implementations and the problems. You may choose, for example, the last one, what is the impact of implementing 4C toward the professional, the teacher's professional development, blah, blah, blah. So this is, Pak Chondro always said like this is the novelty of the research. The novelty is sesuatu yang baru, yeah, because if you want to measure only this one, so probably some of researchers have done this research or did this research, and then you may add the novelty by using more qualitative questions, Mbak Nisrina. Okay, would you please show your research instrument so that we can learn it together?
Okay.
Okay.
Sponsor.
Did you click make it bigger? Only. Okay, make it bigger again. Make it into one. Okay. Yeah, okay. Ini mentang-mentang sudah berdua jadi kiri. Iya. Iya. Saya nggak bisa ngapelin Nisrina lagi, Bu Santi.
Ya Allah, serius Sir, ini seprop.
Serius ya ini. Coba digedein, saya Bu Santi aja jarang serius, saya ngapelinnya Bu Santi nanti. Coba dibesarkan Mbak Nisrina.
Enough Sir.
I see. The criteria, frequency, the platform, the activities. Kalau menurut saya ini loh Mbak Nisrina ya. How about if you make the criteria from the critical thinking? Jadi critical thinking itu kriteria.
Courses ya, Sir.
Iya, dari situnya aja. Jadi the teacher use critical thinking for this one. Jadi implementationnya untuk itu. Kemudian creativity, indikatornya ini. Nanti they always use it, rarely atau never use it. And then what is that? Nanti ada komponennya, nanti kan enak dijabarkannya lebih luas. Oh ya, di critical thinking they applied because I think that this is a very important information for the teacher, how they lead the students' creativity or guide the students' creativity and collaborations. Ya. Mungkin dari situ. Coba ke interviewnya Mbak Nisrina. Ya, ini juga interviewnya. It's only list of questions ya. But previously, would you please make it ya, at least at the guidelines or the indicators. Jadi nanti untuk mappingnya enak. Atau if you want to use the free interview, that's okay. Because you want to know the teacher's problem, right, Mbak Nisrina? So the problem, so you have to make a list the problem first, probably. Karena kan research kita biasanya bukan baru, tapi sudah ada yang pernah melakukan. Take it for example, the lecturer from Iran, they found the problem first, ini, mulai gabungkan aja gitu loh. Apakah nanti di Indonesian teachers juga mengalami itu? Jadi nanti lebih kepada problems this one. Okay, so the observations, or you want to make it to the observations for the the implementations of 4C as well as using the interview. Or the problems, probably you may use the observations also, or you just use the interview, that's okay. Yeah. Ya, Mbak Nisrina. Iya. Itu ya Mbak Nisrina ya. So this is my comment because I will focus only with the instrument because after this you have to collect the data, so make sure that your instrument is really valid gitu ya, and ready to be used. Okay, and like Mbak, would you please stop sharing, Mbak Nisrina? That's enough. Well, I see. Also, I will not focus on background because probably Bu Asia and Bu Santi will give it feedback for you, but so far when I read it, this is readable from me, so I can follow the flow of your writing, also the flow of the theory that you provide here in your proposal. So that's good. Just keep this, Mbak Nisrina, and congratulations. Okay, the next one is for Bu Zahri Yanda. Good afternoon, Bu Zahri.
Good afternoon, Pak Sai. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, Bu Zahri. Finally, you can come to the GC, right?
Yes.
So 1 month earlier, I said that you can go to GC, and it's become true now. Okay, Bu Zahri, this is an interesting topic. This is something to do with the teacher strategies in giving feedback. What do you mean by strategies in giving feedback here, Bu Zahri?
Oh, yeah. I think actually I found, or I have read some articles related to feedback, and I think it is quite the same between the type of feedback and the strategies of feedback. But I think the type is the strategies is the implementation of the type of the feedback.
So what is the difference between the strategies and implementation? Strategies and type.
Strategies and type. Well, actually, in my studies, I prefer to use types of feedback strategies, actually, sir. So, but
strategies.
Yes, but I will give more explanation about how the teacher implement those strategies. For example, like if they choose direct, it means they directly give us something like a revision, or probably they circle the wrong words on the students' written and that's direct, or if indirect, they will use like code or something. And I will try to investigate more on that and how they implement the strategy.
Very good. So this is not the type that you try to investigate by the strategy from the type of the feedback. Let's say there are two kinds of feedback, direct and indirect, and then oral, and then written. At least that there are 4, yeah, Bu, yeah. If you look at the type, and then probably you still find more types, but the one that you want to investigate is not the type. Well, I see your instruments. It seems that you investigate the type, yeah, Bu, but you give the stress on the strategy, like what you said, the direct, for example, by what is that, kelowong-kelowongi, for example, yes. Or you want to give make a circle, or apa namanya, Bu, misalkan dibagi-bagi, Bu, direct in reading, kan banyak 4 skill ya, Bu, reading, listening, writing, and speaking. Itu strateginya banyak, Bu, dan berbeda-beda. So my suggestion first, you make a map, Bu, of the strategy. So the first column will be number, the second one is the type. Direct, for example, in speaking, what strategies? Oh, itu diketemukan dulu. Syukur di bawahnya nanti ada dalam kurung. Itu dari siapa? Strategi ini dari siapa? Ini dari siapa? Ini, dan banyak sekali nanti Ibu bikin kolom penciptaan banyak gitu loh, Bu. Ya, Bu, ya. And then ini direct one. Kemudian nanti strateginya ini nih. The one that you investigate is the strategy, not the type. Ya, kalau saya lihat di tesisnya Ibu type-nya, makanya saya tanyain mau apa, type atau strategi atau beda atau tidak gitu ya, Bu, ya. Dibuat nanti kolom seperti itu, and then you might use this one as your blueprint of observations, Bu. Ya gitu ya, Bu, ya. Nanti di blueprintnya di seperti itu, dari nomor kolom pertama nomor, tipe, kemudian strateginya gitu, Bu. Strategi and then number. Strateginya ini, dan you have to look at all skills, not only one skill, Bu, gitu ya. Iya, gitu ya, Bu. Jadi nanti research instrumennya diperbaiki gitu ya, Bu, ya.
Well, actually, Pak Sai, I will focus on writing recontext.
Writing recontext.
Recontext, yes.
Oh, only the strategy.
Yes, because it is.
I think, sorry, yes. Okay.
Yes, in the second semester.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't see this one. The writing activity, so not all skill for the writing activity. Yeah, okay. So whatever topic, but this is still in writing, ya, Bu, ya.
Yes.
Tapi nanti tolong Ibu, because your first research question is this one, ya, Bu, ya, tadi ya.
Type.
Iya, tadi kan type gitu ya, Bu, ya.
Yes.
Ini this first research questions, nanti ini udah betul, what are the teacher strategies gitu kan ya, how do the teacher apply strategies in giving feedback. How does the impact on the students
motivation
gitu ya, Bu, ya. Jadi yang pertama, the first one, jadi di sini why is that in so the blueprint of the why is that the feedback is not teachers understanding. This is not the indicators of the strategies or the type or the step. Yeah, so step is different with strategies, type is different with the strategies. Jadi kalau menurut saya gini, number, for example, and then type of feedback ya, Bu, ya. Direct, indirect. Direct feedback itu strateginya apa aja gitu loh, Bu. Indirect feedback strateginya apa aja, Ibu fokusnya gitu ke strategi itu. Kalau nggak mau dipisah-pisah, that's okay, Bu. For example, that you collect 20 strategies, Bu, that's okay, Bu. Gitu, langsung untuk writing gitu ya. Kalau nggak, misalkan oral feedback or written feedback, oral feedback bentuknya apa-apa. Ibu kalau cari resources banyak banget. Nah, itu nanti strategi itu gitu loh, Bu. So the teacher use, for example, the teacher use almost all strategies in writing, both direct and indirect. Oh, di indirect lebih menggunakan ini gitu ya, Bu, ya. Indirect yang ini seperti itu. Okay, and then the second one, the questionnaire, because you want to measure the Why is that? Actually, for the motivations, ya Bu ya, the motivations after
being
feedback from the teacher ya Bu. Jadi nanti bentuk pertanyaannya lebih kepada motivasi dia setelah, bukan pertanyaan motivasi umum ya Bu ya, motivasi setelah mendapatkan feedback. Lah itu perlu dipikirkan lagi Bu nanti. Nanti perlu
atau mungkin motivasi mereka ketika belajar menulis teks recon seperti itu Pak.
Bukan Bu, ini kalau Ibu motivasinya kan motivasi, kalau lihat dari judul gitu ya Bu, lalu lihat jadi judul, the strategies in giving feedback to the student writing and its impact. Its impactnya kan in fact after they got the feedback from the teacher gitu ya Bu. Jadi kalau saya lihat pertanyaannya bentuknya di sini, saya semangat ketika dulu saya suka menulis, apa ini motivasi secara umum gitu ya Bu ya. But the motivations here is motivations after getting a feedback. Or feedback gitu kan. Satu misalkan pertanyaan negatif, that's okay Bu. Saya menjadi tidak tertarik gitu belajar bahasa Inggris setelah mendapat coretan banyak dari guru. Nah itu kan gitu. Misal kedua, saya tambah bersemangat untuk meningkatkan writing saya setelah guru memberikan masukan secara lisan gitu. Terus tiga, saya benci dengan guru, gitu kan, nggak apa-apa gitu. Itu yang negatif gitu ya. Saya benci untuk menulis setelah mendapatkan misalkan misalkan akan banyak strategi, misalkan untuk strategi yang direct and indirect itu kan ya, nanti motivasinya gimana, atau bisa satu-satu dihubungkan. Ketika guru, when the teacher give the direct feedback, nanti motivasinya gimana, the teacher give the strategy using indirect feedback, nanti motivasinya gimana, atau oral atau apalah, itu nanti datanya akan kaya banget. And then this is a very useful information for the teacher gitu ya Bu ya. Oke Bu, iya Bu Zahri. Yeah, that is my comment. Yeah, so for three of you, I think that you have to look again the instruments, yeah, and then I will open my time not only in this GC, ya Bapak Ibu, to consult with me anytime, yeah, in my office if you want to consult for the betterness of your instrument, ya Bapak Ibu. Nanti silakan bisa ngobrol lebih lanjut ke saya kalau masih belum belum begitu paham tadi. Yeah. And then Bu Jahri, I think, yeah, also why is that I can say that this is a very good work because you write it more than 50 pages, 65 pages. I do appreciate for writing this one. I am sure that this is not an easy one for you to make this one. Ya, sudah punya keluarga ya Bu ya, and then you are busy also in your school, but you can make it more than 50 pages, and then you also provide a lot of theories here. That's a very good Bu Zahri Anda.
Thank you Pak Sai.
Okay, I think because Bu Hendri is under my supervision, probably Bu Santi and Bu Asih will give more feedback on Bu Hendri. I think that's all Bu Asih. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi. Thank you so much for Saiful. Now Bu Santi will give a review on Mbak Hendri manuscript. Bu Santi, please.
Yeah.
Banjir Bu, banjir.
Okay, thank you so much Ibu Asih and Pak Saiful, especially the feedback given to the students under my supervision related to their research. And I know that they have been working so hard to make it possible to have the proposal seminar today. Well, for Mbak Hendri, oh yeah, jangan lupa Bu Ferisa, Bu Zahri, and Ms. Rina, Pak Saiful has mentioned that he provides his time for you, yeah, So if later on Pak Saiful is contacted by you and he didn't reply, please report to me ya. Nanti I will talk to Pak saya. Yo, kemarin janjinya
I
gimana?
always
Gitu.
reply, Bu. Coba tanya. Yang nggak di-reply itu Bu Santi katanya.
Thank you.
Oke, Ibu Hendri, for the next, Mbak Hendri, your title is about teachers. Yeah, it's about teachers and student and teacher perspective and challenges in using Schoology to enhance the students' English achievement. Yeah, I just want to make sure that is it perspective or perception? Yeah, because between perception and perspective is quite different in definition. So I just want to make sure is it perception or perspective? Yeah, perspective can be seen as something we can see something in the future. It's like what is your perspective about education? So we talk about something that might happen as well in the future. But if it is perception, it is totally different from perspective. So please give me clarification or confirmation whether it is perspective or perception.
Okay, thank you, Bu Santi. I think it is more about students and teacher perceptions on the use of Schoology and their point of view of Schoology itself.
Yeah,
because in the learning process, yeah.
Yeah, here because so it will impact on the way you structure your definition, yeah, your theoretical review related to ya, karena di literature review tidak dibahas about perspective ya. You didn't put the theory about perspective or perception. Yeah, you just write down definition of online learning and then learning management system, and then also it's like challenges in using LMS. But you didn't mention or even talk about perspective or perception. For me, you have to make sure you have to confirm if it is perception, then use the word perception. Yeah, student and teacher perception and challenges in using Schoology. That's the first. The second is still about the title. It's quite help me to understand your title because it is written like students and teacher perception and challenges in using Schoology.
Halo, Bu Santi.
Ya, Bu Santi has internet connection, the problem. We will wait for her. Di sini sudah mulai mendung ya, sudah agak hujan.
Saya izin persiapan rapat ya Bu, ini Bu.
Sorry.
Oh ya,
ya.
Bu Santi.
Sorry,
ya,
ini
silakan Pak Saiful.
Unstable
yeah.
Yeah.
You can go on, Bu.
Yeah. So when we talk about misalnya pertanyaannya Ibu Santi, how do you misalnya ya, what do you think about the on-class system used in UMP? Then I will talk about, well, on-class system is very good in terms of its structure and its facilities. It's also accommodate the teachers and the students to have interaction through the blah 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 blah. However, I can see that on-class still have something what we call as weaknesses in terms of blah 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 blah. So when I talk about perception, it is about something we see, we listen, we touch, we do. So it creates something on our mind, on our thinking that is really underpin our concept of things. Ya, nah saya ingin memastikan ketika Mbak Hendri menggunakan istilah di sini challenges itu kira-kira mau apa ya? Apa yang melatar belakangi this research gitu? Because this is very important. Saya khawatir nanti jawaban yang diwawancarakan atau when you try to get the data of the perception, biasanya perception can begin through questionnaires atau mungkin boleh dengan wawancara, in-depth interview. Nah, nanti yang challenges itu akan apa? Cara pengambilan datanya. Ini kira-kira what reasons ya, backgrounds your research. Can you just tell me so I can get the idea, your ideas?
Maybe challenge comes from the problem that happens during the learning process from the students and teacher sides. Halo, Ibu. Bu Asih, can you unmute?
I'm sorry, I forgot to unmute. Ya, Mbak. Ya, that is Bu Santi again.
Ya, saya memang nggak stabil ininya, jadi ditunggu sebentar nanti connect lagi.
Oke.
Yeah.
Jadi ketika talk about student and teachers itu kan ada dua subjek research ya. You have students and teachers, and then you try to see how it impacts on the student atau how it enhances the student English achievement. Sementara kepada guru tidak dilakukan riset lanjutan, misalnya teacher perception and impact on their teachings apa misalnya. Kenapa tidak dilakukan itu?
Nanti kuesionernya itu sudah ada dua, Bu, mencakup dari perception-nya dan juga challenge-nya kepada siswa dan juga instrukturnya.
Iya, what I mean is like this ya. To be honest ya, saya a little bit confused with the title. Ya, I'm a little bit confused. Maksud saya gini, the student and teacher perception, ya, student and teacher perceptions and challenges in using Schoology to enhance the student English achievement. Berarti nanti teachers juga akan ditanya terkait dengan students English achievement-nya.
Betul.
Dan student juga akan ditanya terkait dengan English achievement. Terus tahu dari studentnya dari mana data to see how they get the impact of enhancement from the Schoology.
There will be documentation that is student score during the learning process, Bu. So yeah, we can see from their score, assignment, and then daily assignment, and also for mid and final tests. So it is the the accumulation from assignment score and also the test score. Halo, Ibu.
Saya cari tempat dulu ya, Bu.
Oh ya, oke, Bu Santi. Oke, Mbak Hendri, Bu Santi has asked you about the problematic ideas or what is it, expression on your titles, ya.
Sudah kelihatan?
Oke.
Ya, ini saya sudah pindah ke KU Ibu sebentar.
Oh iya, silakan, silakan Bu.
Ya, saya lanjutkan sedikit ya. Jadi saya a little bit confused with the title. Nah, maksud saya begini. Bagaimana Bu Hendri atau Mbak Hendri nanti akan mendapat data tentang teachers enhancement-nya. Kalau guru kan enhance itu bisa dilihat dari data kerjaan mereka, nilai-nilai. Kalau dari siswa, apakah ada interview atau apa yang will explore deeply about their enhancement in learning. Karena data dokumen nanti akan dipakai untuk checking the teachers ideas about the student enhancement in learning gitu kan. Atau gimana, coba diceritakan biar saya agak paham.
Okay, for the confirmation, there will be interview, in-depth interview for both teacher and students related to the perception and also the challenges in using Schoology, starting from the appearance and then the material, the evaluation, assessment, something like that.
Ya, Bu Asih mungkin nanti bisa bantu memahamkan saya ya, Bu, about this title.
Yeah, maybe Bu Santi and Mbak Hendri could what is it? Look again at research question, Bu Santi. If what is it? If I'm not mistaken, Mbak Hendri will look at the perception, and also the challenges of using Schoology.
Ya, oke. Tapi ada satu kalimat enhance the students' learning, Bu Asih. Berarti kan itu juga diukur. Sementara it is not really stated in the research questions, ya. How the use of Schoology or how the use of Schoology so far enable the student to enhance and learning in English misalnya seperti ini. Mestinya ada satu research question lagi karena ada variabel yang terukur di situ terkait dengan learning achievement-nya. Ya, jadi mungkin karena di sini variabelnya kan ada student and teachers perception, kemudian ada challenges, lalu kemudian ada itu tadi learning achievement. Nah, sementara learning achievement is not really stated in research question. So you have to revise, add one more question to talk, which is asking about the impact ya, mungkin atau apa terhadap enhancement-nya gitu. Karena kalau hanya what is the student perception, ini nomor satu juga you have to split the questions. You have to split the question, how is the student's perception, how is the teacher's perception, because they both are different in subject. Yeah, in terms of subject of participant or subject of research, they are different. Yeah, and then what are the students' challenges? What are the teachers' challenges in using Schoology? And then how the Schoology impacts on the student enhancement based on teachers' perception misalnya, atau apa seperti itu. Jadi nanti terjawab all the problems, all the variables proposed in this research is answered, gitu kan, is solved. Karena kalau seperti ini tidak bisa menjawab pertanyaan sejauh mana it impacts or atau it enhances the students' learning achievement. Ya, jadi mungkin nanti ini di-split kalau ada student and teacher jangan jadi satu research question. Jadi nanti akan muncul ada 1, 2, 3, 4, bisa 5. Misalnya 5 research question seperti itu. Ya, karena terakhir ada achievement-nya. Misalnya tadi how is misalnya Schoology atau does Schoology enhance the students' learning achievement based on the teacher's perception misalnya seperti itu. Itu nanti bisa dicek kan. Karena nanti ada question in-depth interview dan sebagainya. Jadi mungkin ini reformulating the research questions ya, Bu Hendri. Jadi mungkin ada 5 research question yang harus dijawab. Ya. Karena nomor di research objective you have already stated to find out challenges using to enhance. Nah, saya jadi bingung lagi nih dengan research objektifnya. Kan yang ditanyakan kan di sini the title-nya itu kan to enhance ya the students and teachers perspective and challenges in using Schoology. To enhance artinya Bu Hendri ingin tahu kalau perspektif dengan challenges itu bukan to enhance menurut saya loh. Lebih kalau practices mungkin iya ya, the use of Schoology to enhance the students English achievement mungkin lebih akan terlihat implikasinya atau terlihat impact-nya. Tapi kalau students and teacher perception and challenges in using Schoology to enhance the student English achievement memang agak sedikit abstrak ya, agak sedikit pengukurannya mungkin jadi tidak kena gitu kan. Nah, saya memberikan masukan tadi satu yang question-nya di reformulate, terus nanti ini to research objective to determine the use of LMS to enhance. To determine the use of LMS. Ini kan tidak sesuai dengan research question lagi. Karena research question-nya kan what is the student's perception? Misalnya, atau what is the teacher perception of Schoology? Nah, nanti bisa pertanyaan terakhirnya itu how can Schoology, misalnya ya, enhance the student's learning based on teacher perception? Itu pertanyaan yang kelima nanti bisa seperti itu. Tapi kalau nomor 1 jadi tidak menjawab pertanyaan research question yang terkait perception. Ya, to determine the use. Nah, ini kan agak jauh dari variabel yang disampaikan di dalam judul. Ya, to determine the use of LMS to enhance. Saya tidak tahu lagi nanti ini determinnya seperti apa. How will you determine? Jadi menurut saya research question number 1 is not really relevant with your research. Ya, mungkin ini bisa dihilangkan. Terus kalau 2, to find out, saya lebih suka dengan kata to know. Ya, to know the student's perception. Kalau to find out itu seolah-olah kita ya bisa sih, cuman lebih di hati itu lebih pas sense to know. Karena kita ingin tahu, bukan mencari gitu ya. To find out, to know the perception, the teacher's perception atau the student's perception of the use of Schoology. Langsung sebutkan saja, jangan LMS lagi. Fokus on Schoology. Gitu ya, to know the student's perception of the use of Schoology in ELT atau in English language class atau in English classroom. Nanti to know the teacher's perception tentang ini lagi, tentang Schoology. Lalu to know atau to explore atau to identify, karena challenges itu identify ya, mencari tahu, to identify the students' challenges in using Schoology. Ya, nanti lagi the teachers seperti itu. Ternyata terakhir to misalnya ya, to describe atau to find out how Schoology misalnya enhance the students' English achievement. Misalnya seperti itu, based on their perception. Misalnya seperti itu. Jadi ini urutan research question-nya harus diformulasikan kembali. Nah, itu yang pertama. Terus pertanyaan yang basic, saya selalu menanyakan pertanyaan ini kepada my students, especially when they started to do the research ya. Kira-kira contribution of research-nya apa ya? What is the contribution or the significance of this research for the field of ELT?
Okay, so for the student will be more motivated in learning English using the new method in the in online classroom, and then they can explore more than more than in the classroom using LMS, especially Schoology, in getting more knowledge and experiences. And then
sorry to interrupt. Kalau significance itu menurut saya bukan benefit ya, karena you kan tidak melakukan eksperimentasi. Jadi hanya nanya aja persepsi kamu tentang psikologi apa. So how can the students istilahnya get apa tadi yang pertama to get experience atau motivation?
Be more motivated.
Nah, dari mana bisa siswa be more motivated kalau kita hanya bertanya? Kecuali Mbak Henry melakukan experimentation, misalnya implementing psychology in English language teaching. Setelah dites, nanti baru apa kira-kira, oh siswa jadi lebih termotivasi belajar online karena dengan psychology it gives so many facilities for the students to make them enjoy learning misalnya. Nah, maksud saya significance of your study itu kira-kira hasil penelitian ini akan memberi manfaat apa? Artinya for the field of education misalnya, setidaknya kalau kita bicara hasil riset ini, kontribusinya akan apa kepada dunia pendidikan? Kan berarti kan it give apa namanya? It contributes to English language teaching field relate misalnya terkait dengan bagaimana the teacher and the student perceive the online learning using LMS, ya. And in this case, Schoology, gitu kan. Nah, so it gives so many, it can give information for pembaca, gitu ya, for the reader, for English educators, or for the instructor to see how much, misalnya Schoology have influence atau impact atau perceived by the teacher and the students in this context. Jadi menurut saya lebih ke arah itu. Kan manfaat siswa jadi lebih termotivasi, lebih tereksplorasi karena mereka tidak melakukan apapun. Saya perlu menyampaikan ini karena kadang-kadang antara benefits ya of research itu tidak connect dengan judul penelitian. Siswa jadi lebih termotivasi, tertarik padahal kita nggak memberikan apa-apa, we just ask them questions. Nah, jadi saran saya kalau kita bicara the significance of this study atau contribution of this research, at least this research contribute to the field of ELT in terms of how teachers and student perceive the use of LMS as instrument atau tools in online learning. And it also give information for other teachers, educators, ini related to how Schoology has been perceived positively or negatively by the teachers and misalnya seperti itu. So they can decide what is the best atau what other LMS that can be implemented in their classroom. Mungkin bisa seperti itu in simple ways. Ya, jadi nanti diperbaiki sampai ke situ. Iya, jadi terus yang selanjutnya untuk yang research question bukan research question, berarti research question sudah. Lari ke bab 2, theoretical review ya. Saya sering menyampaikan buat apa sih nulis theoretical review. Dan theoretical review itu at least should accommodate the variable that you use in your research. Contoh tadi ada kata perception, belum ada di literature review. Itu mestinya masuk what is perception, definition, the sources of perception. Ya, lalu kemudian perlu dimasukkan terkait dengan kurikulum atau setidaknya you inform the audience, the reader, what is actually happening in your context. Karena di dalam konteks ini, di dalam teori itu perlu disampaikan. Jadi kalau yang saya lihat ini kan di dalam background of research itu kan tidak dituliskan ya ini di mana risetnya akan dilakukan. Ada nggak di background of research bahwa this research is actually coming from the ideas of how English language teaching should be taught for the students of non-English department in UMP, itu kan mestinya ada konteks situation yang dibangun di background. Nah, jadi saya melihat background ini masih sangat lemah in terms of reasoning why you do this research. Ya, jadi tidak bicara LMS-nya, tidak bicara teknologinya, tetapi orang melakukan penelitian kan seperti ini. Saya melihat ada satu hal yang menarik nih dari penggunaan psikologi oleh instruktur di Pusat Bahasa UMP. Kenapa mereka memilih psikologi. Ya, lalu kenapa Anda tertarik untuk meneliti ini? Apakah selama ini ada masalah penggunaan psikologi atau bagaimana? Atau ini evaluatif study? Kalau evaluatif study berarti ingin melihat apakah penggunaan psikologi sampai sejauh ini bisa diterima positively dari persepsi siswa. Nah, maka itu harus dilakukan, dituliskan di background of research-nya. Sementara background of research di sini sangat singkat, tapi tidak ada building knowledge for the reader. Jadi nanti ditambahkan terkait misalnya, boleh kok misalnya as one of the private university in Central Java, UMP has developed a program for gini, gitu ya. And this program now, since pandemic COVID outbreak, the university has issued a policy to use online learning, ya, dan sebagainya. Nanti masuk ke LDC, Language Center, LDC, Language
Development Center.
Language Development Center, ya, as the unit which misalnya organized or manage this program, has decided to use psikologi as one of the LMS for ini. Nah, dari situ bangun background knowledge untuk reader. Jadi reader ini maksudnya apa sih ya, mau di mana sih penelitiannya ya, kenapa ada penelitian ini, kenapa penting. Maka ketika you specify bahwa ini untuk instruktur, ini akan menjadi give evaluation as well as evaluation atau input for the structure, itu lebih jelas kontribusi of research-nya. Ya, untuk background-nya seperti itu. Maka nanti di bab 2 itu akan masuk ada tambahan terkait dengan tadi misalnya English Language Program in UMP, masukkan ke situ. Karena apa? LMS itu kan instrumen untuk mengajarkan, tetapi kan materinya juga nanti kan harus disampaikan. Ya, at least you talk a little bit about the curriculums lah yang disampaikan ketika mengajarkan bahasa Inggris untuk siswa yang dikembangkan oleh LDC. Nanti baru masuk ke perception, diurutkan dari perception, nanti lalu masuk ke LMS atau online learning gitu ya. Setelah online learning nanti baru masuk ke types of online learning, types of online atau type of learning management system apa saja. Nanti terus diskusikan lagi tentang psikologi. Terus nanti bicara tentang student learning achievement-nya. Ya, nanti ditambahkan. Oke. Terus masukan saya, ini referensinya untuk bab 2, ini hampir tidak muncul sumber-sumbernya. Jadi seolah-olah Henry hanya memindahkan dari buku ke sini, ya, ke ke proposal. Yang namanya theoretical review itu actually the integration of your analysis atau misalnya your result of critical reading atas teori atau konsep nanti disaling digunakan untuk enhance gitu kan. Nah, jadi di sini bukan saya berharap teman-teman semua yang ada di sini menggunakan artikel jurnal, tidak menggunakan buku semata-mata karena buku itu limited ya, in access. Tapi kalau tapi kalau misalnya jurnal, artikel itu kan banyak sekali, jadi bisa di-combine the theoretical review-nya. Untuk apa? Untuk memberikan informasi yang lebih komprehensif about your topic. Nah, di sini saya masih melihat tidak tertulis referensi yang cukup kaya ya di dalam ini. Misalnya learning management system definition, terus sampai bawah tidak ada dari siapa definisinya. Ya, tidak disebutkan siapa yang mendefinisikan. Ya, ini kan jadi sedikit bermasalah nanti di plagiarism. Ya. Karena tidak tertulis referensi yang tepat. Nanti diperbaiki referensinya. Ini hampir tidak ada sumbernya. Tidak ada referensi yang tertulis. Nah, misalnya kinds of LMS. There are 2 main types of LMS software, corporate and academic. Nah, menurut siapa? Mestinya kan dalam kurung siapa yang mengatakan itu. Ya, lalu kemudian terus selalu ada psikologi is fully featured. Ini menurut siapa? Hampir tidak ada sumbernya. Ya, Mbak Hendri, ya nanti diperbaiki ya untuk referensinya, dikuatkan, dikayakan, dipenuhkan. Artinya nggak apa-apa loh, kita citasi-citasi semua, ya nggak apa-apa, memang kita belum mampu menghasilkan teori. Tapi dari citasi-citasi itu nanti kita analisis, lalu kita bunyikan gitu kan, sehingga nanti akan kayak referensi yang menguatkan framework of our research gitu. Nah yang terakhir nanti karena ini kuantitatif in the form of survey and qualitative method, berarti kan ini mixed method. Nanti diperbaiki bahwa we use mixed method here untuk mengambil data penelitiannya. Kuesioner. Nah, saya nggak ini ya, viewed by answers given itu ada direct questionnaire and indirect questionnaire. Ini juga nggak ada sumber-sumbernya loh, Hen. Ditambahkan ya sumbernya dari siapa, hampir tidak ada referensi yang digunakan untuk mengatakan teori-teori yang kamu pakai untuk mengambil sumber-sumber ini hampir nggak ada referensinya. Ya, jadi saya tidak tahu ini diambil dari punya siapa untuk nggak, maksudnya di dalam sini, di dalam tulisan, bukan di referensi daftar pustaka.
Iya, dicantumkan di situ, ada.
Nah, ini misalnya gini, ini nomor 1, this research uses mana ininya, kan nggak ada, ya. Misalnya riset design, pertama kan yang harus kita lakukan riset desainnya dulu. Riset desainnya apa? Bukan the object of the research. Jadi riset desainnya mau menggunakan apa? This research use mixed method. What is mixed method? Tuliskan sedikit definisinya tentang mixed method. Ya, kenapa menggunakan mixed method? Because the way the data is collected use two types of data collecting technique ini misalnya. Ini kan tidak ada referensinya. Subject of research, boleh ditambahkan. What is the subject of research? Boleh tambahkan teori, the definition of subject of research, satu aja. Karena tidak semua reader itu understand what is the meaning, atau we have different understanding of subject of research. Nah, kamu pakai teorinya siapa? Yang akan menguatkan kamu tentang subject of research. Jadi tidak ada orang yang bisa menggugat ketika loh subject of research ini, oh tapi saya pakai ini, saya pakai teorinya ini. Nah, itu maksudnya kalau menggunakan teori tujuannya seperti itu. Supaya tidak ada yang menggugat ketika kita berbeda pendapat dengan orang lain. Gitu ya. Jadi ini yang nanti perlu ditambah-tambahkan gitu untuk what is questionnaire. Tidak ada di sini referensinya. Nah, kadang orang punya pendapat berbeda about questionnaire. Apalagi di development of research sekarang ini sangat-sangat memungkinkan difference in argumentation. Nah, itu nanti ditambahkan. Itu mungkin dari saya, Bu Asih. Nanti kalau ada kesulitan atau kebingungan, boleh WA komunikasi dengan saya, tidak apa-apa. Ya, karena di sini memang data analisis tekniknya juga nanti harus ada 2. Ya, misalnya pertama data analisis teknik, 1 angket, analisisnya gimana? 2 interview, analisisnya gimana? Itu caranya seperti itu. Jadi nanti the reader understand. Oh ya, ini yang kalau angket seperti ini analisisnya, kalau kuesioner analisisnya seperti ini. Ya, kalau dokumen ya silahkan kalau mau ada dokumen, katakanlah misalnya dari hasil pekerjaan siswa analisisnya mau menggunakan apa. Ya, karena ini mixed method. Thank you Bu Asih.
Okay, thank you Bu Santi for the insightful discussion with Mbak Hendri.
Yes.
So for me, I will add to Mbak Hendri first ya. Mbak Hendri, Mbak Bu Santi has I think has reviewed most of your manuscript ya. My suggestion regarding what Bu Santi have what is it asked ya, you what is it, you add a clarification of term ya, in which you explain what do you mean with perspective or perception is in your manuscript here or in your research, is it different or not? Yeah, and you better what is it, support your argument with some literature. Yeah, and then also with the what is it, the word enhance. Yeah, that is the important thing about the clarification of term. Yeah, and this is also for all the three panelists. Yeah, here. Yeah, so the clarification of a term subtitle, it will help you to to make a border. Yeah, what a kind of word that you use and what is the meaning in your manuscript and your research here. Yeah, so the reader will not have a different opinion, yeah, or different, they get different meaning with what you have written, yeah. And the second one with also Mbak Hendry is about the reference, Mbak Hendry, yeah. You should add the reference, yeah, daftar pustaka in your manuscript, yeah. Better start with the background of your research, yeah. You need to add some reference to that, yeah. The next one, this is for all of you, is the template, yeah. I have given the template, not the guidance, yeah, but the template. So you just need to copy paste, yeah, the structures and take a look at what you have, you are going to do, yeah. For example, your titles, yeah, the name of your supervisor, things like that, yeah. I have given the template, so please use the template, yeah. I think it is it will be helpful for you, yeah. It makes you easier to dealing with the mechanic of the writing, yeah. And also for all of you, I think it is also better to consult with the research book, yeah, written by the native speaker, yeah, or the Westerners. Why I suggest that kind of books? Because you will you do not need to write like different or sentence or expression which is not familiar, yeah, in the research context, ya. For example, karena yang digunakan adalah buku penelitian bahasa Indonesia, maka digunakan waktu dan tempat penelitian, ya. But if you are familiar with the qualitative or quantitative books, yeah, they will not use that kind of expression, but it is widely used setting, ya. Setting itu sudah menunjukkan begitu. Itu terus masalah expression like background of the research, scope of the research itu akan lebih natural, ya, dan akan memudahkan teman-teman bila nanti sudah selesai semua manuskripnya dan menggunakan Turnitin, ya. I think Pak Saiful and Bu Santi have have reviewed your manuscript very thoroughly, yeah, and very insightful. So I just add things like that, yeah, for your manuscript. The most important thing to look at or doing your revision is take a look at the chapter 3, ya, teman-teman. And I look forward to seeing you on Friday at 1 o'clock, yeah, to discuss more about your manuscript, yeah, dealing with chapter 3. especially chapter 3, and what is it? It is a kind of follow up of what Bu Santi and Pak Saiful have suggested you. Yeah. Okay. I think that's all from me. Yeah. Any question maybe from the 4 students here? Mbak Nisrina, Mbak Henry, Mbak Zahrianda, Mbak Teresa?
No,
You
ma'am.
are
No, ma'am.
okay. So you have time on Friday at 1 o'clock? Yeah. Okay. And